Good morning and welcome to our Friday morning live, the first one in 2025. Let me turn my light on, get a little bit better light. I hope everyone has had a great holiday season and is ready for a grand 2025. Although some coworkers and I and friends and family and I have been just discussing the some of the things that have gone on already from New Year's Day with the tragedy in Louisiana, and then also kind of going back to the to Christmas Day, having at least two or three planes to go down and kill a lot of people. So that put a damper on the Christmas spirit with the changes, the challenges with the airplanes that went down, and then going into the new year with these with the tragedy in Louisiana and shootings in other places on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. So we just have to try and stay positive, encourage each other, and press forward and have the faith that there is a better day coming. So happy Friday to everyone. As I said, first Friday in 2025. Today we're going to talk about return returning to the office or working from home. You know, there has been a battle, excuse me, many discussions about what is best, which one is going to win out, and of course, employees. A lot of us prefer to work from home as much as possible. Not everyone. I have some coworkers who I've spoken to who prefer to go into the office, and particularly those who are empty nesters. They may be single, they may not be living with anyone else in their home. I've heard some of them overwhelmingly say that they prefer to come into the office most of the time just because they enjoy the social interaction with their coworkers and they consider their coworkers an extension of their family. And that's true because we spend more of our waking hours with our coworkers and colleagues than we do with our actual family, even if we, live in the house with someone else. So let's look today at an MSN article that provides a list of major companies that are requiring employees to return to the office. And it leads in by saying that, excuse me, that big tech firms are telling staff to return to the office. And some of the coolest offices of the major tech companies, they are showing some pictures, which I won't show here, but I can tell you that Amazon's Seattle headquarters, it is awesome, and it's called the Dome, and and employees can work from spheres, and it looks really neat inside. And Nvidia, the technology giant, is called their headquarters is called the Voyager in Santa Clara. I think that's in California. Then the shape of the roof for Nvidia was designed to bounce sound without reverberation, and so it is really neat. So you probably want to Google some of these headquarters and just see how cool they look. But some of the things that some of these major tech giants like Amazon, um, Nvidia, AT&T, and some others are doing is they're creating very inviting office spaces. So they don't have, like, the run of the mill office spaces, and especially in their headquarters, that you would see, like where I work is just a normal everyday office space. As a matter of fact, it's in a very historic 100-plus-year-old building in downtown Atlanta. And but is that enough to and keep employees interested, or to entice them to want to return to the office? So, and another one that is following suit, another major employer that's following suit and asking or requiring employees to return to the office to work, is BlackRock. So let's see here. So the article goes on to say that in September, Amazon mandated corporate workers to return to the office 5 days a week, and I was gonna say that some of them have required employees to return to the office 5 days a week, beginning yesterday, January 2nd, while others still allow their employees to work from home, maybe 1 or 2 days a week. Now, AT&T in December of 2024. This article says that AT&T, the telecommunications giant, expected employees to be in the office 40 hours a week starting in the new year, I guess, starting yesterday, as well. Then Sweet Green, and I'm not sure what industry Sweet Green um, is. I think Sweet Green may be a restaurant, and maybe it's located in one of these large tech giant or giant employers office space. And so Sweet Green is upping their number of on-site support staff, as well. I could be wrong. I'm going to look them up as well and find out more information about them. So some other major employers that are requiring employees to return to the office include JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs. Um, they both abandoned their hybrid attendance policy and instead implemented a full return to the office mandate. And that's because the reason why this is happening is because several executives and leaders have said that they believe that productivity increases when workers are in the office together, and others hope to increase in-person collaboration. And collaboration is very important, but I find it so funny, and maybe you do too, that tech giants like AT&T, who is a telecommunications behemoth, Nvidia, um, and some others, that they are saying that they want to increase employee collaboration, but they are technology giants. They're some of the major companies that are in an industry that produces products that gives people the ability to be able to collaborate virtually. So that just kind of seems like, I don't know, maybe I'm the only one thinking like this. It seems like an oxymoron. So you want people to invest in your technology that you develop and market and what have you, that enables us to be able to collaborate virtually. But you're telling your employees that the way that you're choosing to try and increase employee collaboration is by having them return to the office full time, not even on a hybrid work schedule in a lot of places, but full time. I'm just confused. I am very, very confused. So some CEOs, like the article said, some CEOs who even previously praised the flexibility of remote work have backpedaled their support and telling workers to comply with return to office mandates. And some are tracking attendance and firing employees who don't comply. Amazon is one that will end remote work starting or did end remote work starting in 2025, which I'm sure, I guess that means that as of yesterday, Amazon workers had to return to the office 100% of the time as well. And they said that collaboration, employee collaboration, and connection, and in-person work would strengthen the company's culture. Now, whether that's true or not, I'm not sure. I will say that I go into the office 3 days a week. I wish it were only 2 days a week. So, given this article and some other news reports that I've run across, I am grateful for the fact that I do still have the 2 days a week that I work remotely, and but it doesn't stop me from being able to collaborate effectively. Working remotely does not stop me from being able to collaborate effectively with my colleagues. Now, thank goodness, my current manager, she is all for remote work. Um, One of the things is that she has a horrendous commute. She just relocated to the area, and she has a horrendous commute every day where she has to leave home before 6 o'clock in the morning to try and get to the office at 9 o'clock, or by 9 o'clock. So she understands the quality of life issues, and because she is a wife and a mom of three kids, and their youngest child is in high school, and they don't want to change the school that their youngest child is currently attending, and very active in sports and what have you there. So, I think what some employers tend not to understand is, it just would be great if they had a bit more consideration for employees' quality of life, and knowing that they get more. Because when I work from home, I'm usually working, even if I'm working incognito, because what I will do sometimes is set my status to away or do not disturb or what have you, so that I can work without having someone to see my status being green before 8 o'clock, and then them reaching out and trying to, interrupt my quiet, concentrated focus time on certain projects that I need to be working on. So I'll work incognito for an hour or two before I actually turn my status to green, to so that people won't disturb me. Because what some people tend not to realize is, just because your status is green, it doesn't mean that you're not working on something. And so that's how I manage and help people to respect the boundaries that I've set for the way that I work. But I would love to hear what you think about this battle of the workplaces. Is it, what do you prefer, to work from home, or do you prefer to work on site? what are the advantages for you personally, for of each work arrangement, and which one do you think is going to win? Because right now, based on this article that I'm seeing about these companies, and I'll continue to run down the list. One is Apple, and in 2022, Apple had their employees return to the office at least 3 days a week after previously requiring 2 days a week. And that's the same thing that my job did. They had previously required 2 to 3 days a week. Your choice or your manager's choice. Of course, my managers required us to come in. Um, well, for at first 2 days a week, and then they upped it to 3 days a week. Thank goodness when the directive came out that it was 3 to 4 days a week, I believe it was, they let us stay at 3 days per week if we didn't want to come in an additional day. And so, it just depends on the employer. I already talked about AT&T, BlackRock, mandated employees last year in 2023 to return to the office 4 days a week. And, of course, BlackRock is one of the largest investment firms. They're headquartered in New York City. Um, then, let's see, Chipotle, they announced in June 2023 that their corporate workers should work in the office 4 days a week. Um, and they had previously required workers to show up 3 days a week. Then it goes on to talk about Citigroup, asked its 600 U.S. workers who were previously eligible to work remotely to return to the office full time. And of course, Citigroup is an investment firm, and the majority of the staff are reportedly still able to work a hybrid schedule with up to 2 days a week outside the office. Dell told its sales staff to return to the office 5 days a week starting September 30th of 2023, and they have been previously allowing their U.S. employees to pick between working remotely or following a hybrid schedule with about 3 days in office each week. Disney in January of 2023 told workers that starting March of 2023, any Disney staff member working in a hybrid fashion would need to return to Disney's offices 4 days per week. And that led to 2,300 employees plus signing a petition asking their CEO Bob Iger to reconsider the mandate. Don't know the outcome of that. We mentioned Goldman Sachs in March 22. Their CEO told Fortune that the company was asking employees to return to the office 5 days a week. But 7 months later, he told CNBC that only about 65% of the workers were working in the office. Google in 2022, March of 2022, told employees in San Francisco and several other U.S. locations to return to the office for at least 3 days a week starting in that April. So they gave them a 1 month notice, if they got a full month's notice. IBM at the start of, I guess, 2024, told their managers to either come into the office or leave the company. Okay. So that was, and I guess they were asking them to come in 5 days a week. JP Morgan Chase sent a memo to their employees asking their managing directors, or stating that all managing directors must work in the office 5 days a week and reminding other workers of the current policy of working in person a minimum of 3 days per week. There was some pushback reportedly from employees. However, the CEO doubled down on the policy, saying disgruntled workers can choose to go elsewhere. Meta did the same thing, requiring employees to head into the office 3 days a week, and stopped offering remote work in new job listings. My job did that too. We stopped offering that. We have been pretty successful using that as recruiting, part of our recruiting strategy. But once we got the directive the from leadership, we stopped offering that as listing that flexible work schedule option in job vacancy announcements. So some others that they list here are Redfin. Um, Now, I really like what Redfin reportedly did. There was a memo in July 2023 telling headquarters employees who live within 20 miles of the company's Seattle, San Francisco, and Frisco offices to work from the office for a full day on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. That is great. And then employees who live beyond the 20-mile radius were required to visit the office in person once a quarter for a day or more of meetings. Now, that seems to be very, very generous. Um, and so, um, Yeah, so in order to hold employees accountable, the memo stated that a no exceptions section to determine your distance from the office will use Google Maps, with the distance from your home address measured in miles driven over roads by car. Man, that is very, very generous right there. I really like that. Some others that made adjustments and started requiring their employees to come into the office 3 or more days a week. A lot of them at least 4 days a week are in Salesforce, Snap, Starbucks, Sweet Green, and I mentioned Sweet Green earlier. They require a 4 day work week starting yesterday, January 2nd. Then Tesla, I'm sure, heard about what Elon told his employees at Tesla. They had to come back into the office. It was a mandatory return to office policy. And then Ubisoft, is a France-based maker of popular Assassin's Creed and Far Cry video game series. They ordered their staff worldwide to return to the office 3 days per week. Then X, of course, also headed by Elon Musk. We know that he told people to either come back to the office or resign, leave. Uber, Walmart, Washington Post, and last but not least, Zoom. So these are some major players, guys, who have, even if their CEOs were previously backing the a partial work from home schedule, a hybrid schedule where employees could work from home more than they worked from the office, it has taken a major shift. That has changed. And there are some smaller companies that are following suit. So just be mindful of the fact that the options of employers who are offering the opportunity to work from home at least half time, it seems to be dwindling. So just want to hear what you think, what your current employer is allowing in the way of a hybrid work schedule or a fully remote work schedule. I'd be curious to know what's the name of your employer and how are they handling employees assigned workplaces. So that's what I wanted to talk about during this Friday morning live. It was very informative to me. I hope that it was very informative and enlightening to you to get this list of major companies who are requiring their employees to return to the office. Many of them not just return to the office sometime, but to work a full 40-hour, 5 days a week from the office. So this is getting kind of serious, guys. So just understand that if you are, I would encourage you that if you are faced with that challenge, because I know I feel your pain. I love working remotely. I'm working remotely today. This is what allows me to be able to do my Friday morning lives because I work remotely on Fridays, and so that gives me the opportunity to get up a little early, do my Friday morning live, and then I can start working around 8:30. But the thing is typically after 6 o'clock, I'm still working. And that's why I say that actually my employer gets even more productivity out of me because when I'm in the office, I try to leave by 5:30 to be able to get back home at a decent time in the evening to spend some quality time with family, also work on my business and do other things that I'm interested in doing. But when I'm working remotely, I typically work very late into the evening and get a whole lot done. I know the Friday before Christmas, because I was working remotely, which that was my regular one of my regular work from home days. I worked 16 hours in one day. I got I started working around 8 something, maybe 8:15, 8:30 that morning. And if I remember correctly, it was 11:54 a.m. I mean 11:54 p.m. before I stopped working. I did take a lunch break because I knew I had a lot to do, and I took about an hour and a half break for lunch because I had a personal errand to run. And I came right back here while I was out running my errand. I grabbed a bite to eat, came right back here, and started working again. And the rest of that time was basically just getting up to walk around for 2 or 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes at the time, maybe play with my dog a little bit, or to go to the restroom. And then I was right back in my home office working again. And it was just before midnight that that I stopped working and began to get ready for bed. And so I can tell you, I get a whole lot more done when I'm working from home, just because of the added quality of life and the convenience of being able to roll out of bed, start working, and then also not having to worry about the commute to and from the office. So just let me know in the comments, like I said, where you work, what your work schedule is. Do you work a hybrid work schedule, or how many days do you work on site versus working from home? So as you can hear, allergies and sinuses are really taking control this morning. I'm all stopped up. So I am going to bid you a wonderful first Friday of 2025. And I am going to go and make myself a cup of hot tea to try and open these nasal passages up. But thank you so much for joining me for this first Friday morning live and with HR by Nnamtique. 167. I look forward to seeing you for either another video or for next Friday Morning Live, where we'll discuss yet another interesting and engaging HR or job search related topic. Have a good one, guys. Bye bye.